because Dubai's becoming the gateway to the world, and everybody in the world wants to come here.
We bought properties originally here around 6 years ago, and I saw the growth, I saw where everything was going within Dubai, and I thought this is definitely the place to be.
Naheem Sharif, a real estate broker and investor who's spent over a decade navigating Dubai's market. He's closed more than $500 million dirhams in deals, helping his clients and himself reach goals that actually last. If you've ever wondered what it really takes to invest in Dubai, want to know what works and what doesn't, and how to do it the right way, check this out.
Everything is strategic. Everything is, this is the price we're going to exit, this is the price that we're going to buy at.
They're not good because they're big. They're big because they're good.
I have loads of friends and family who are moving to Dubai. A, for the better quality of life, B, for the tax breaks, C, for the... If you look at Dubai, for example, real estate, I look at these sites and say, wow, the construction sites work 24 hours a day, 8-hour shifts. A project in England that'll take you 2 years, in Dubai you'll have it over. Hi, this is Nabil from Bricks to Riches. Today I'm in Dubai. I've got a podcast with these two wonderful gentlemen, Tonye and Naheem. Tonye, can you please introduce yourself for the listeners? How long you've been in Dubai and what actually you do?
Sure thing. My name is Tonye Anyanwu. I'm originally from Nigeria. I live in Dubai for what is going to be 15 years by August 2025. That's crazy. It's like a joke me saying that out loud, actually. And I own a brand, LivUp. LivUp is we sell the Dubai dream pretty much, where we actually help people get set up in Dubai the right way. So whether it's getting the company set up, their residence visas, bank accounts, moving their lives and money over here, their property. We also have LivUp cars for luxury chauffeur services. There's literally an entire ecosystem. We got a wellness community, events community. So literally anybody who comes out to Dubai, whether it's a business or a lifestyle need, they just get settled in real quick into the LivUp community without having to worry about, the hustle and bustle of where do I fit in, how do I do this, how do I do that. And of course, as you can imagine, the company has scaled over years. It wasn't always, this big. It was always, okay, we've scaled vertically according to demand, according to what people are looking for, and just be able to retain the same quality of service in-house. So that's what LivUp community has literally become a family now.
You chose a great niche because Dubai's just going like this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Dubai's becoming the gateway to the world, and everybody in the world wants to come here. I'm from England. I lived there all my life. I have loads of friends and family who are moving to Dubai. A, for the better quality of life, B, for the tax breaks, C, for the safety, and just the natural dopamine hit you get when you go out.
Oh, it's crazy. It's a whole new level. It's like a video game out here compared to what people are used to from Europe and the shithole that the West is today.
But the only thing is, Tonye, to have the lifestyle that I'm used to in England and where I go out every night, you need shitloads of money.
But not really. Dubai is way cheaper than England.
No, if you go to the best places, Baioli,
for sure,
Serene, you're dropping a few grand each time you go out.
But in England, you're going to drop a few grand either as well. Except stuff is way more expensive in England. Your tax, your petrol. I mean, I always tell people, right? If you remove tax, Dubai starts at a 50% discount compared to England before you spend £1 on anything. Once you step into Dubai and you've left England, you have the 50% discount in your entire life, tax. And then you start counting your expenses, right? Once you get to that point, and now if you're going to be going Baioli in Dubai, Zuma in Dubai, you're going to go Zuma in the UK as well. It's around the same price, right? So I always about everything in Dubai is about choices. You can live off $1,000. You can live off 10,000. You can waste. I have friends who blow $100,000 in the night in a club, right? It's always life choices. I can show you where to get a cup of tea or for 20 pence right now.
Deira.
In Deira. Not in Deira. Even in Jumeirah. I'm talking about the main Jumeirah, Al Wasl. You know this. You've been here well. So it's really all choice. You want to go to Dubai Mall, La Durée, and have expensive coffee with expensive kandura?
Cipriani Cafe.
Or Cipriani Cafe, but be my guest. Just make sure your accounts can do that,
I think you're right. I think Dubai, sorry to interrupt, Dubai is all about choices.
It really is
It's all about the choices that you want to make. And bringing it back to property with myself.
Naheem, so introduce yourself first of all. So who are you? What do you do in Dubai?
So my name's Naheem. My intro is not going to be nowhere near as good as yours on there. I've been in Dubai now for around 4 years. And I've concentrated within real estate.
Fair enough.
My introduction to real estate is from a kid in the UK with my father. We bought properties originally here around 6 years ago, and I saw the growth, I saw where everything was going within Dubai, and I thought this is definitely the place to be. You touch on London, you touch on the prices, and you're 100% right about the discount. For me, look at the price per square foot in Dubai, compare it to London, New York, Singapore. You're getting it at almost a 70% discount as you're getting it in those areas.
Absolutely.
So You are right. Dubai is expensive for if you're coming over on holiday and you want to live that life. But if you want to be here and you want to invest here and you want to build a business here, I think it's the place to be.
Absolutely. And also, guys, to be disciplined. I've been in Dubai I went here, came for a week before, then went to a wedding in Egypt, then came back again. I've been going out every night. And to be disciplined in Dubai and living here, you need a lot of discipline. Like Tonye, I can see you're very disciplined, the way you're shredded your body. So you must be very disciplined the way you work out, the way you sleep.
Absolutely.
So if you live in Dubai, you can only really go out the weekends. Like I do in England. I only go out maybe once a week because I'm disciplined.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even focus so much on the discipline as much. Yes, you're right, 100%. That's critical.
Yeah.
Well.
But I always tell people, right, cut your coat according to your size, right? If you can afford to go out every night, by all means. If you can blow 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 pounds every night on lunch, same on dinner, please knock yourself out. If you can't, stay the fuck home. It's as simple as that. Because the problem is, a lot of people come to Dubai and they see what I'll call, for lack of a better way, big ballers.
Yes.
And they just want to follow through. Like, oh, this guy's doing this, you don't know what he did to make his money.
Yes.
You don't know if it's bankrolled by who.
Yeah.
You have no idea if he has been working for 40 years to be able to spend like that.
Or he's inherited it.
Or he's inherited the money, or you have no idea what he's doing, who his father is, where it's come from, what kind of business is in. And then you guys go comparing yourself and you realize you're going to find yourself in. And this rule applies everywhere in the world. You have rich, middle, and poor everywhere in the world.
True.
Right? So I think it's a matter of knowing what you're capable of doing, knowing what your goals are, knowing what you actually want out of your life, and knowing, okay, at this point in my life, I can afford to fuel a V6 Nissan. I stick to that. When I get to the point where I can find a V12, a W12 Bentley, I get to that.
But I feel like this country, you have to almost go too far before you know what your limits are. Especially when you move over in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
You see the people living over here and you
so
think,
easy to get carried away.
You think you can live up to that life.
So, I mean, you go to a shitty restaurant and you got Rolls Royces, Bentleys, and you're like, this has to be normal. No, the price of those cars have not changed. They're the same, maybe even more expensive than in other parts of the world. But
if you go to J1, it's got Bugattis, everything.
And then your brain tells you this is normal. Okay, well, go check your bank account before you call it normal, you know?
Yeah. But also, Tonye, one thing I must say, whenever you get like ballers, super wealthy people, beautiful women follow. So for example, I've traveled the whole world. And I now go to tell my friends, English women are 7s out of 10. Dubai are 20 out of 10.
Shade, shade thrown.
Dubai women are 20 out of 10. And European women like south of France, Mykonos are about 10 out of 10. So Dubai is just next level women. Because wherever money is, the women, beautiful women.
And the best
follow.
women of all of the world come here.
Yes, exactly.
Like Monaco.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So great place. So when I go home now tomorrow, sadly, I'm going to have to downgrade.
Poor you. Sorry, we're going to be here. We'll send you pictures on WhatsApp. Let you know how it's going.
Exactly. So Tonye, you've done a great job by selecting a great sector to housing people in Dubai.
Yeah.
You get people from different parts of the world.
Absolutely.
So whether you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, US, England, you help people locate. You help them get the golden visa. You help them get the bank account open. You're basically you help your concierge service.
A business and lifestyle concierge. If you want to put it into so what people will actually understand. You know, because I always tell people LivUp is the most complete business and lifestyle community in Dubai. I don't even think of myself as a company anymore. I think of myself as a portal or a gateway to the Dubai dream. So literally, because before, let's rewind to 10 years ago. We only did business setup, right? And that's all we had. If I wanted to buy a real estate property or my clients wanted to buy, I'll refer them to a friend like Naheem who I thought I could trust. And if they wanted to rent a car or lease a car, I'll send it to Ahmed, a friend of mine who was whatever, right? After a while, people come back with complaints, different variation in quality of service, and realize, wait a minute, it's not rocket science to open up these companies. It's not rocket science to build a super team that will maintain the same level of standard. Because when anybody leaves you for whatever you've given to them, they expect the same level of service anywhere they go. So when they don't meet that and they meet disappointment, it comes back and it bites you in the ass. Now
they complain too.
Absolutely, and your recommendation is not worth fuck all. You know, so that's what, like, you know what, we're gonna slowly scale. I mean, I have a long list of things I want to live up to become. I want to go into vacation homes. I want to go into probably become a developer long term. Who knows? You know, all that stuff.
We can collaborate on that.
Oh, for sure. I remember you mentioned. Yeah, you know, so these are things. But again, everything I'm doing is one simple question I ask myself: how do I add more value to my community?
Yeah.
And how do I make Dubai feel as home as possible to whoever is leaving their original home to come out here? And that's exactly what LivUp is. LivUp, the Dubai dream. That's literally all it represents.
Do you find though, sorry to ask the questions, but you're a concierge A to Z sort of service. Do you find people want a specialist in certain areas, or are they happy to go to you to get everything done? Do you get that
So here's
objection?
the thing, right? I think that's a very good question. People want a specialist, but when somebody, the prequel to that question is, who sent them my way?
Yep.
99% of my business comes from word of mouth referrals.
Perfect.
Meaning, if Naheem refers Nabil, Naheem has told Nabil, Tonye is fucking excellent in this. Whether it's business setup, whether it's now I'm not a real estate broker, right? I have a real estate team, for example, right? My teams have specialists in each domain. Now I'm the overall, I'm knowledgeable overall, so I can give a very big picture. And as I tell my people, my friends and clients, I am my clientele. So based on that, living here as a tenant, a landlord, being fucked over by other consultants in all the domains, I've known the ways not to do things and the ways to do things. So I paint the big picture, and then I assign them to the key specialists in my team. Yeah. Whether it's on the business setup side, the visas, the PRO side, the drivers. I don't drive my cars. Now we got about 21 cars, luxury cars in LivUp 7 Series, your Maybachs, S-Classes, Rolls Royces, for clients as they come through, where they can lease per the day, or they can get a driver chauffeur around, airport pickup. So we have specialists in each sector. Yep. I'm just the face, and I'm the super glue and the grease that just makes sure the machine, the wheels are turning.
So you overlook everything, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I agree with what you said, Tonye. The word of mouth is very important.
Oh my God, yes.
Because
I don't spend a dirham on marketing.
Good.
I mean, like now we spend some money, with our production. We got teams, you got your team, I got my team. That's more of logistical cost. But to say, hey, let's go spend money on ads. Not a single dirham has been spent or dollar has been spent in the past 13 years of LivUp existing on actually saying, let's go get a client. Never.
Nice.
Never. It's organic virality. Videos that went viral were organic virality, or friends reposting stuff, whether celebrities or even regular people. It doesn't matter, because I think people can really, I go quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I've got videos that get 8,000 views and I get 200 leads from that video. And I got videos that get 2 million views and I get 500, 100, 200 leads. So then you just realize it's quality, and especially because you've been pushing me for YouTube, and I've been doing mostly Instagram and TikTok. And apparently I heard it, as you mentioned, YouTube is way better quality leads because people who go to YouTube are intentional.
YouTube is actually the second biggest search engine after Google.
Correct.
So if you're being searched on YouTube, what it actually means is these people specifically want
to look for you. Exactly. Absolutely. Not like Instagram where you're being
and also from YouTube you get paid from it, Tonye. So if you get over 4,000 watch hours, you get paid.
Money.
So I get paid from YouTube. I get paid from YouTube now, and I've got 120,000.
Next time he's taking us shopping. He's paid for all our Baoli trips, everything we go. Zuma, anywhere we go.
Burley's got a good night on tonight. It's got a good night on tonight.
Tuesday, innit?
He's trying to chicken out.
Exactly, but the women are too expensive in Baoli.
Well, we'll go at the back. At the back of the table, it's cheaper.
So, Tonye, do you know what I was reading online? That the most moved people to Dubai in UAE are Indians, and they're the biggest buyers of real estate in Dubai.
Correct. Yep. Easily the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest people on earth.
Yeah.
The Indian people,
Yeah. I think it's really very understated. I mean, India as a civilization has been wealthy for centuries. And
there's a lot of people, there's 1.3 billion people.
Which is crazy because the culture of investing, culture of growing your money, culture of being smart economically is almost engraved in the Indian culture, an Indian man's blood. And that's why they go way further ahead, building themselves.
Bringing it back to what you said about the discipline, the Indian market is extremely disciplined. We look at different types of buyers within real estate.
Yes.
We have emotional buyers, we have strategic buyers. You will never, in my opinion, find an Indian buyer who is emotional. Everything is strategic. Everything is, this is the price we're going to exit, this is the price that we're going to buy at. If we hit this price, we sell. They're not in it for a lottery. They're in it for a certain price and they move. It's so strategic with how they buy.
So they're business discipline.
Which is why they've done so well as well.
Big time.
And also, they're not shy of hard work.
For example,
in England, I developed property on a large scale, and one thing I realised about the English labour class, they were 8 till 4, Monday to Friday, every 2-3 hours, tea break, cigarette break. But when I get an Indian worker, or if I get an Eastern European like Romanian, they'll work 7 days a week. Yeah. They'll work 7 till 10, and they will not take a break. They just want to get the job done because they're on a price.
Yeah.
Whereas the English people want to take a break all the time, ring the girlfriend up.
That's a cultural thing that you think. I think
it is purely cultural.
No, but if you want to excel, if you want to be top of the world, if you look at Dubai, for example, real estate, I look at these sites and say, wow, look how quickly it's grown. Because the construction sites work 24 hours a day, 8-hour shifts. Whereas in England, it'll work 5 days a week, 8 till 4. But over here, so one team of workers will go, a second team will come. So a project in England that'll take you 2 years. In Dubai, you'll have it over 6 months.
Yeah.
But it's incentivized as well. Like, it's a really good point you mentioned. The big developers now are doing construction-based payment plans. So the big developers have a construction team or whoever, and they get incentivized to get paid when they hit a certain point of construction as well. So what you're going to find is previously where so many projects may have been delayed for whatever reason, now these companies have to get it finished to a certain point before they get paid, which is why Emaar Oasis now, you're seeing projects 8 to 9 months ahead of schedule. That was unheard of 5 or 6 years ago as well.
I mean, the best you hear is probably Bengati or a bunch of other guys who actually arrive on time, but getting that way earlier is just ridiculous. That's magic.
And also, if you look at the price per square foot of property compared to Miami, Paris, London, Dubai is still low. The average price is 400.
It's crazy.
£400, I'm talking.
You know, I made a video saying Dubai is the cheapest city in the world and went crazy viral. And I get it. Videos like that piss people off. But it only pisses broke people off. No offense, I don't give a shit about how you guys feel. I'm saying exactly how it is. Because the reality is, as he rightly said, you go to Miami, you buy a 3-bedroom apartment, central, downtown, beautiful, ocean view, whatever angle you want to go with.
And Miami, by the way, Tonye, is the Dubai of USA.
Absolutely. That's supposed to be, right? And then you go to Monaco, you go to Singapore, you go to, all the major Paris, top London, top cities in the world. And Dubai feels like you're getting 10x. It's almost like buy one, get 10 free when you really compare the value, because you get in modern buildings, high-tech buildings, well looked after, with freedom to do literally almost anything in most places. Okay, we got some areas in Dubai where developers and communities have certain rules, regulations. Everywhere does. In the UK, you can't even touch your 60-year-old building door handle in some places.
Because of conservation listed buildings.
Which is ridiculous. Because even beyond the money, the mentality of doing things. I always tell people, the UAE is not the wealthiest country in the world. In regards to natural resources, assets, Dubai is not the richest country in the world. Dubai was sand, for Christ's sake. It's embarrassing to the rest of the world that Dubai turned sand to what it is right now. And the rest of the world has all this wealth for centuries and all these resources, gold, diamond, oil in the ground. And they're still shitholes.
But this is
Dubai had a wonderful vision. Sorry to interrupt, but Dubai had a wonderful vision by the leader, the sheikh, and he's improvised it, he's implemented it.
Oh yes,
and that's a wonderful vision.
Oh yeah.
Sadly, we didn't come here when he launched that vision. If we came then, we would have been trillionaires by now.
Yeah, I'd have a UAE passport, a fucking Nigerian one. Bloody hell! One of my grandfathers were doing, picking their noses in Nigeria, selling their cousins.
Here's one for you though. What do you think about branded residences like Mercedes Bugatti?
I think that they are great for marketing. Nonetheless, it becomes, it's like they say, right? The more attention you get, the better it better be, right? It's like we have high expectations of a beautiful girl or of a rich guy or whatever, a good-looking person, right? And why do I say that as an analogy? It is when you have a brand new residence, I have no problem. Proliferate it. Get 1,000 brand new residences, but make sure the quality of that residence and the quality of the experience matches the brand you're associating with.
This is exactly my point. What does Mercedes know about hospitality?
Nothing. It's just using the name.
It's just using the name. Whereas if you go for something that's a hospitality brand, an address, a palace or something like that, you know the quality that you're going to get. But I feel like the branded aspect of buildings now, people are taking it for granted. You've got watches, you've got cars, and I get it. It offers that sort of bling aspect. But at the end of the day, you're buying a property. You want the bricks and mortar.
It's so funny. Marketing is marketing. I mean, marketing is attention, right? So bottom line is Mercedes might not know. It's like you and I, let's say we get into oil and gas or car manufacturing, right? We might not know anything about, I'm not an oil and gas specialist. I'm guessing you're not a car mechanic or whatever. If we have the right partnerships, and this is where collaboration always wins. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Right? If Mercedes was going to wait around,
that's why there's that rule, Tonye, 1 + 1 = 11. Synergy, collaboration.
100%. Yeah, exactly. You know, and for me, it's even way beyond 11 because it becomes infinity. Because essentially, this side of the synergy that's growing and developing itself continues to build itself. This side continues to build itself, and then it's just an infinite possibility of collaboration, right? And that's why I'm not totally against the branded residences. I'm against people or developers who don't have the capacity or the work ethic or the quality standard to then associate themselves with that. But again, if a brand...
But sorry to interrupt there, but I feel like Benghazi have played it really, really well.
Oh, for sure.
Because you've got the Mercedes Benghazi.
For sure.
Which before, Benghazi wasn't necessarily known as a luxury brand.
Yeah.
But now you've got the luxury
I
residences.
believe they were more of a budget brand,
They were. Yeah. But they're still doing the budget project in Business Bay and in JVC.
They've got a nice range now for everyone.
Yeah. But the quality of the project now has got up, and people are now associating a JVC project and Benghazi project in JVC as something that's going to be on level with Mercedes. And you're thinking... How they've changed that brand image is unbelievable, really. In
it
the
is
space
beautiful.
Of 2 to 3 years.
Honestly, that to me is just plain. That's the sexiest thing I can see. Because I went for the actual Mercedes building lunch at the Maidan, and it was just magnificent. I don't know if you were around in Dubai at the time. I think you're probably not.
No,
were you there?
Yeah,
it was just magnificent. And you know what's the difference between JBL and Bang & Olufsen? Storytelling. Right. That's it.
Storytelling makes a big difference.
That's it. That's really it. I mean, can JBL hire enough engineers to make their speakers sound like Bang & Olufsen? Of course, right? And are there some sounds that some even cheaper brands can actually sound better than the most? Of course, but the storytelling, we never, and there's a scientific research for this, right? What we experience is never objective. It's always subjective. The emotional state where we are and the emotional experience and our neural patterns and our traumas and past experiences always funnel onto our experiences. Now, why do I say that? If I can touch you emotionally with a storyline and a brand line and a brand identity,
then you've got me.
I've hooked you.
Yeah.
No matter how good, maybe not terribly, totally bad. Now, I used to own a lot of Bentleys. I fucking hate them. They are shit. They are pieces of
Don't
shit.
be saying that. That's the next car I want.
No, don't get me wrong. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to be like I'm shitting on. I know that Rashid Abtor and the guys. I'm not trying to ruin your business.
You get a lawsuit from Bentley.
No. So, let me rephrase that. Bentleys are my favorite cars. Yeah. One of my favorite cars in the world. I've owned a few. Ultimately, the car itself, the craftsmanship, the engineering, the performance, especially since after the Volkswagen Group acquired them, it just became absolute babies. But the quality of the repair, the management team that's behind Bentley, Surrey, whatever the fuck those guys are sitting, they are so incompetent, in my opinion. A single low pressure pump takes 2 months or 3 months to get to you. And they do, got to a point I actually offered and said, listen, and I'll tell you why I'm telling the story. I offered to pay more to get the parts to arrive earlier. They refused to honor my request to inconvenience myself. Now, why am I saying all this? No matter how much you want to tell a story, no matter how much you want to tell a quality, everything still comes down to one thing: customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
If you are branded, not branded, whatever you are, even if you are budget, non-budget, I've walked into a few Ellington buildings that are sort of what I call the JVC budget buildings. I've walked into some other, I'm not going to call any names, I don't want to shit on anyone, super high end, 5, 10x the price of those Ellington JVC buildings. And if I had to choose with a gun to my head where I was going to live, I'll live in the Ellington JVC buildings compared to some downtown buildings that are just like crawling apart in Maidan and a few other places.
Yeah, but that comes down to, again, brand, and it comes down to the respect within the brand.
Oh, for sure.
But now you look at Ellington in the market, like you said, you can buy an Ellington in Dubai land and you know the quality of that building
guaranteed
is going to be
absolutely
the same, if not better.
Oh, yeah.
But same with Amara. Amara's owned by the government. You can't go wrong with that developer.
And Imara has been one thing and one thing only: quality.
Yeah. It sells
from beginning to the end.
And the brand, that's the best brand.
You can be rest assured. And I always tell people, quality doesn't mean things don't break. Quality doesn't mean things can't go wrong. Quality means we are of service to you And no matter what happens, we will step up and rise to the occasion and fix the fucking problem.
Look at the customer service that you get with Emaar compared to, I'm not going to name any names, but another big developer.
We know we have a lot of names on the list.
I own personally properties with Emaar.
Yeah.
And you go there, you get the year's warranty, they come out and fix anything, any leak, they're out. Absolutely. They make sure the quality and the service you get.
The general community, public areas are incredible after 20 years of building.
This is why they're so good at master developments as well. Downtown, Dubai Hills, we look at Oasis now, Arabian Ranches.
Egypt, they're looking at, they're doing stuff with Egypt
on the coast as well. They stand the test of time. And this is one thing that I'm finding out about new developers. I love new developers. They offer something different within the market. But one thing about Emaar is it stands the test of time.
Absolutely.
Within 5 to 10, even 15 years, look at Arabian Ranches. You're gonna get the same quality,
for sure,
and it's gonna be kept up to standard.
And while you're saying this, people might actually listen to this and think, oh, but they're so big. No, you guys, you have it all wrong. They're not good because they're big. They're big because they're good.
Yeah.
There's a difference. They've always been good. And no matter whether backed by the government or not, if Emaar was shit, they will plateau and tank after a while.
Yeah, of course.
There's only so much you can sell a shit product for. Yeah. They have the right backing, the right vision. Mohammed Al-Abbar is a philosopher, in my fucking opinion.
Yeah.
Right? And that literally pushes and feeds, it just literally feeds into every single fiber of the organism that is Emaar. No matter what they do. Whenever anybody hears the Mohammed Al-Abbar name or the Emaar name, you just know whatever is going to come out of this too.
It's going to be quality.
It's going to be quality, right? And it's not for everyone. If you don't have the price for it, the money for it, the budget's out of you, that's fine. Nobody cares.
See, I'd rather buy Emaar than Mercedes or Bugatti because I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Which is why for Bugatti or for Mercedes, you're paying a premium just for that name.
But it comes back to what we were talking about developers in different countries. So in the UK, you don't necessarily need to be a brand to be a developer. No. Whereas here, the brand takes precedent over the actual developer because they actually subcontract the construction anyway.
Correct.
So what does the brand offer compared to for different brands?
Okay, so let me ask you boys a question.
Yeah.
So if I was going to buy a house on the Palm, yes, and it was developed by a developer who's not known, but the quality is much better, and somebody, let's say Emaar did something on the Palm or Nikhil or Mercedes or Bugatti, which one? I would go for the best value per square foot, not for the brand.
That's a very tricky, I find that to be a trick question. You know why?
I go for value.
Okay. Now, how do you identify that value?
Yeah. Right? Price per square foot. That's
okay. But the question is, at a certain level, you don't want to ever risk anything. Your risk tolerance goes very low. And also, it's a lot of headache. It's time wasted. God forbid that developer you don't know anything about, right? Or contracted construction company, you don't know much about them, and they're great value for money.
Yeah.
God forbid they go wrong. You're going to spend 3x more, which is going to be more expensive than whatever Emaar or Benghazi.
To rectify, you mean?
To rectify, right?
I think. Sorry to interrupt, but I feel like the villa it may be a slightly different scenario.
That's a different scenario. That's a very independent, unique thing.
If we're looking at a building, for example,
like an apartment block, let's call apartment block.
So you're right in terms of that. My comeback to that would be, look, we've been through that. You've been here a long time.
Yeah.
My family have known about this country for a long time. Yeah. We now have the escrow accounts. These developers don't get access to the funds until a certain amount of construction is being
linked to the development.
It is, exactly. So this is how you're protected with the new developers. Emaar is amazing, and you'll always get a safe product. I feel like the leverage in terms of where we can actually make money in this market is with the newer developers because you can leverage.
Because they're trying to really prove a point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, I think it gets to a point where if you are, like you said, right, trying to do the price per square foot as the only comparable, as the only factor, then yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it gets to a point where you start to really crave quality. Mm-hmm. And the only way you guarantee that quality, again, is not just in development or payment plan, like which you're right? It's now 3, 4, 5 years down the line. How many phone calls are you going to be receiving from your tenant, right, on your apartment leaking or something going wrong here versus this other guy? Now, I'm not saying that Emaar are perfect, and I'm not saying the new developer is going to be bad. We don't have any specific names here, right? Yes. But I think, like you rightly said earlier, it really comes down to the longevity of how everything plays out.
Yep.
And again, any investor has some sort of risk threshold.
Yeah.
Whether it's X amount or this amount, after a while, you're going to have to just leave the big names and just dabble a little bit. You can't just always buy what you've always known because there's almost no leverage at that point anymore. It's all oversaturated. Everyone's got their eyes on there. But the newer, younger guys, they're going to give you 12-year payment plans, 8 years post handover because they want to prove a point. And they're willing to go on a loss for 4 years to eventually make a mark on the 5th year, right? And they want to build quality because now they know we got to keep up with the big dogs. And ultimately, like we talk about, you and I potentially going to development.
Yeah.
If I get into development, the only thing I want anybody to talk about is the quality of that building.
Yeah.
Nothing else. How high tech, how convenient, and how well thought of. Every detail.
So good design.
Everything. Functionality and aesthetics. All of them. And quality. Now, when it comes to quality, Shoba is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Right? At first, when I own a list of brokerage, as you know, and I used to hear my agents and my brokers talk about Shoba, do this and talk about that. And I used to be like, oh, here's another fucking sales pitch. Like, whoever this guy is, I just hope you get a good apartment when you get it. Until I experienced it myself. And then I was like, I've got major, not out of control OCD, but I've got some serious level OCD. Mm-hmm. Even as simple as the alignment of the cabinets. I look at those small details. The skirting on the actual floor. What area do they go a few degrees off, a few degrees on?
The alignment of the tiles.
It's ridiculous.
You are right, the quality, but you pay a premium for that quality.
Of course.
As an investor, are you really that bothered about the alignments of the tiles and alignment of that? You want the product, as Nabil's rightly said, that's going to give you the best price per square foot.
But I guess it depends on the ROI. If the ROI justifies it.
For me, it's the opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost you've got from a quality developer, like Shoba is, but you're going to pay that premium. The resale value isn't really going to be there. As much as even like a Nikhil Bay Grove that's just released, you're paying slightly more. The quality is probably not going to be as good as Shoba, but you know that product is going to sell, and you can sell that product prior to handover for a premium. I think as an investor, you're not necessarily looking at the quality like that.
No. I mean, it depends, because it's so funny, because what I like about what's happening dynamic here is everyone's right.
Yeah.
This, because like you always say, right, there are 10,000 ways to kill a goat. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's really calm because, for example, let's say cars, right? So in our fleet, we've got the 7 Series, Maybach V classes, we've got the S classes, Rolls Royces. And I was very tempted to go buy the Toyota Alphards. They're incredible cars. I don't know if you've been in any of those MVs. They are ridiculously good. Now, a Toyota Alphard is about a third the price of a Maybach V class. A Toyota Alphard also rents for a quarter the price of a V class, right? Yeah. Now, I guess that's one of the scenarios where the premium actually equals the juice.
Yeah.
Now, not in every case where it could really be the case. In some places, you might have 3 buildings in line. Like, for example, let's look at what's this place called? This building over in Satwa. It's like a beautiful, scale. I forget the name. It'll come back to me. It's like a gray color building, and they got this compound in there. Amazing. It's right behind on the Sheikh Zayed side. Not the Wassa building. It's on the back of Sheikh Zayed Road.
I'm not sure.
Behind the hotel, around the Crown Plaza area. And that building is situated in it's 3 to 4 times the price of the building right next to it. Mm-hmm. Literally right next to it. And that's not a high-end area in Dubai at all, right? So when you really look at it, like, why do you spend $1 million on a Porsche 918 Spider, right? When a Porsche 911 Carrera is $100,000. Same brand, different specs, different whatever, but same brand, same logo. It's all branding, right? And I really believe that the ideal...
And demand and supply.
Of course.
Yeah, because
you could create the demand.
You have to create the supply back.
For sure. You could pull, truncate the supply, boost the demand. Whether you're selling NFTs or crypto or buildings or cars
or Bugattis,
human nature is human nature.
You want it more.
It's as simple as that. So if anybody can, my only problem is when people actually compromise on quality.
Talking about the dating, I always want a woman who doesn't want me. A woman who wants me, I don't want her.
No, I want a woman who wants me. I want a woman who wants me. I don't fuck with that shit.
I've got a wife.
No. Yeah, but you also want a woman who wants you. I hope your wife wants you.
So Tonye, let's get down to Naheem. Let's get down to real estate questions now. Yeah. I'm a seasoned property developer from England.
Okay.
I've been in the property industry for 30 years, transacted over £5 billion worth of property.
Nice.
And I've had lots of people coming to England, from England to Dubai, migrating here. I'm still friends with him. I met him. He buys villas on the Palm and around Dubai, run down one, refurbishes and sells them. So that's what he does for a living now, because he says, I'm enjoying it. I says, I don't have any gearing. I buy cash. I have 2 or 3 villas on the go each time. His name's Robert. He shows me around. He said, come in with me. So there's people are buying villas, refurbish and sell them across Dubai. That's one option of business. The other thing is, if someone's going to buy properties in Dubai, Tonye and Naheem, what my question to you is, would you buy houses to flip? Would you buy apartments to flip? Or would you develop from scratch? Or would you go for rent rolls? So let's say someone said to you now, some wealthy guy from somewhere around the globe said to you boys, I want to invest $100 million in Dubai.
Yeah.
I've sold my business. I want to become a developer in Dubai. I want maximum yield for my money. Like in England, I only buy assets that give me 30% return. In a week, we'll look at 100 opportunities, we'll buy one. So if somebody says to you boys, there's $100 million to invest in Dubai, I want to make the maximum return. So there's various options: develop from scratch, buy rundown property, refurbish it, buy and build a rental portfolio. Which one would you recommend to get maximum return? It's like, well, you're an athlete, Tonye. I play paddle with you.
Yeah.
So if you go to the gym, you know what to do in 1 hour to get the maximum cardiovascular calorie burn.
Absolutely.
So what would you do with that $100 million US dollars to get a maximum return?
I would love to hear you actually.
Yeah. For me, the first thing you have to do is look at the risk profile. How much risk do they really want to take within the investment? They want 30%. Look, there's numerous different ways we can hit 30%. The developer option.
From scratch, make it clear.
Yeah,
for the listeners.
Developer from scratch, we can easily make 30%. Leveraging payment plans, we've already talked about it. You can easily make 100% ROE within a year to 18 months. So first things first, what is their risk profile and what do they really want to do? Is it just about the money or is it about building a brand and building a name? If it's about building a brand and building a name, we're definitely going down the developer route because that's where the brand is going to come from. If it's about solely making the money, for me, I'd look at two different options. Firstly, the renovation sector. You can easily get around a 20% return in around a 6 to 9 month period, depending on your renovation team and your construction. And then you can even get 100% return on the off plan, leveraging the payment plans. So I'd look at a mixture of the two, between renovations and between leveraging off plan as well, if it's just solely about making the money.
Okay, what about that Mr. Smith, let's call him? He's got $100 million. He says, well, I'll need to live here. I've got wife and kids.
Yep.
I want to go out to Baoli every night with you boys. I have to pay the bill.
Yep.
So he says, I want rental income as well. You missed that point. What would he buy to rent? So he has to live off rent as well, doesn't he, for the cash flow?
Yeah. So again, it all depends on the area. You're looking at downtown, you're at anywhere from a 6 to 7% rental yield. Same with Dubai Hills, probably same in Marina as well. So I'd always stick to the safer areas, the downtown.
Is that net
Marina.
yield after service charge?
Net yield after service charges, yeah. So I'd look at downtown, I'd look at Dubai Hills, and I'd mix it between apartment and villa and townhouses as well. Dubai has a shortage of villa and townhouses, which is why all the launches now are all about villas, they're all about townhouses. Yeah. And again, a big thing we're missing is the wellness aspect. Everything right now is about wellness. Sorry, you look at Haven's new community, Aldar's new community, you look at the new Emaar communities, it's all about walking, it's all about wellness. So I'd look at Dubai Hills, they've got the parks, they've got the wellness around that. Then you'd also look at Arabian Ranches, you'd look at Jumeirah Golf Estates, the golf courses, everything is centered around that community. So you know the value in those areas are gonna rise and you're gonna get a good rental yield straight away.
Okay, and also going back to the point, Naheem, you made an interesting point about villas, because I bought villas in Dubai. I bought one through Emaar Ocean. I bought Oasis. I bought one from Damark as well. Yeah. And villas has gone through the roof because of COVID. In COVID, people didn't like being close to people. Yeah. Someone like Tonye, who's got OCD, likes the space. Yes. So villas is the best way forward in Dubai, I would say, if you can afford it.
For sure. I mean, personality matters, lifestyle matters. I throw a lot of parties, barbecues. For me, it's got to be villa.
Next time you invite all those chicks, don't forget to invite me.
Well, too bad you're leaving early. I got one tomorrow afternoon.
He's already invited me.
He's on the way. You're just... We're sending you videos while you're on the plane. Right?
Yeah, next time I'll come.
You know, the reality is, what he said, I mean, for sure, that could work. I will do it differently. Yes. I will definitely take my time, be patient, keep my ear on the ground. There's always those whisper of opportunity. Like now you're talking 9 figures dollars, right? Let's say figure dollars, pounds, euros, whatever it is, 100 million, right? Yeah. There are always people who are willing to be desperate and let go of something. Now, I am not the biggest person in what I call stressful investment. What I mean by that, you might make $100 million a month. What are you doing to make $100 million a month? Yeah. Right? Are you grinding and toiling with stress and pills and Panadol all day, every day, owning 6 shipping docks? Or are you actually sitting back on a computer and your OnlyFans models are paying you? Right? Now, this is two wild extremes, just as an analogy, right? And the reason I say that is, if I were the investor, if I was going to put that investor, like you rightly said, one thing I agree with you very well is the risk threshold. Yeah. What is the personality of the investor? What can he live with? What can he not live with? What can he afford to actually have? Does he have a team that can manage things? Are we going to sit down and actually wait for him to be emotional about things? Or is he one of those guys who $100 million is just numbers to him and it's a matter of trade this to get this? I will definitely sit down and wait for golden opportunities of distressed sales.
Yes.
And two things, either renovate it and keep it if you want to maximize it longer, or get your hand on a distressed deal and flip it immediately.
I like that one. That's good for cash flow.
It's great for cash flow.
Well, then I'd also say, right, in this industry, yeah, you're right. But then distressed deals in this market, firstly, we have the availability of data. Distressed deals are very, very hard to come by.
They would have to be that, you have to get it privately through whispers.
Yeah, we can get them. Yeah. But the availability of data now means that sellers know what their property is worth. So let's go 5 million dirham apartment in downtown. He knows if he really wants to tomorrow, the liquidity of the asset is he can get 4.5 tomorrow. So it's not necessarily a distressed deal, especially when you've got DRD to pay, you've got commission to pay. You're already 6% inflated on the price.
But some people know who are distressed when they go for the payment plan and they make 30, 40, 50%. They don't have the rest. They have to get out.
And now they get it.
They get desperate.
For me, I would consider distress to be at least 15% off the market value, right? And I mean, I'm not going to mention names, of course. I have many close friends who have made very, very radically large amount of money in a certain period of time, but then they've not been able to sustain making the money like that.
Yeah.
They've jumped into projects, structuring them out, and now they're 45 million into, I'll give you one example. A good friend of mine, he's Romanian, 45 million into a project, worth 70 million, and now
dirhams are talking.
Dollars,
yeah.
And now he's totally out. He's out of money. Whatever he was waiting for, because he's owned by the Romanian government. And money's not coming for another year, 2 years, God knows what. Guess how much he sold that position for? 26. So 45 laid off 19 million.
Yeah, you make a really good point. I think at that scale of money, $100 million.
For sure.
Yeah,
then it opens a lot of opportunity.
Opens up the doors. I feel like if we're looking at investments in terms of what we're going to find and what we're not going to find with a realistic amount of money, that's where it gets a lot bit tighter. I do agree with you in terms of the distress sales, in terms of construction-based payment plans, which is, Imar is amazing that they've brought these construction-based payment plans in. You look at Address Dubai Hills villas, for example. There was a period in time, they're amazing villas, but there was a period in time where they were selling below OP because the construction was so far ahead. People have accommodated for payments to be every 6 to 9 months. Next thing you know, 20, 40, 60% payments and needing to be made 3 months at a time. So in that scenario, but again, you're at the 25, 26 million dirham mark, you will find the distressed deal.
For sure. And it's a lot. I think for me, why I stopped calling LivUp a company and more of a community is, and being here, living yourself, you live a couple of years as well. Just what I say is getting drunk with the right people, you get the whispers of the right opportunity, right? And I say that because for me, my greatest asset is my network.
Networking with the right
people. My network, my community. And this is where my asset comes in, where it's a matter of, I just have to sit down. I mean, over at the paddle event, I bought the Rolex for 30 grand. It's worth 45,000 dirhams.
Is that the paddle place?
Yeah.
You bid for it?
I won the auction. Yeah, it was 30,000 dirhams. Not a lot of money, but still, that's now. If I don't look at amounts, I look at percentage ROI.
Yeah,
that's a 33% off market value, right? Now, the only reason I was able to have that is I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
right. If I wasn't in that event, there's no way I'd have heard about that, and it wasn't even mentioned that was going to happen, right?
Timing is very important.
It is very critical, and having access, which I do, lucky for me, touch wood, being in Dubai long enough, whether it's through my local community or my expat community, my clientele, information just passes around.
I think timing and courage are very two important things.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know whether you gentlemen have seen this film called Indecent Proposal.
Oh, for sure.
Robert Redford.
I just watched it again 2 days ago for the 100th time.
Yeah, so as a kid, I watched that. I can remember something very interesting.
You watched it as a kid? I'm worried about your parents. I'm worried about the kind of home training you had growing up.
The message I learned from that film, Robert Redford, that's why I'm not shy when it comes to women. He basically liked this girl and used to go to the train station every morning at 7:30 to basically go and see this girl. So every day he went there, but he never had the courage to ask her. One day he psyched himself up, I'm going to go and ask her, and he's all excited, I'm going to ask her out. And he turned up the following morning to ask her out, and she wasn't there. So timing and courage should always cash and go in as a vulture.
Sure.
Like, same with that applies to your watch.
Yeah.
If you weren't there, you wouldn't have got the watch.
At all. Would have been I would have heard about someone, maybe in Nabil or Naheem, who did that. I'd be like, fuck, should have been.
Yeah, if I was in Berlin last Tuesday, I wouldn't have met the supermodel.
No, you definitely wouldn't have. And her friends. And your wife would be trying to divorce you either.
I'd have a wife.
I know. I'm messing, I know. Naheem,
everything.
Naheem just look at his ring.
Yeah.
Like these fuckers. He just rolled his ring. These assholes.
So timing is very important. Everything,
really
business, everything is about timing and courage. You have to be at the right place at the right time.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
But Dubai is all about network, and I totally agree with that. And I feel like this city is the only city in the world where it's so, it's so promoted to be part of a network. We go into the UK, we have to hide the watches, we have to hide everything.
That's safety, that's law and order, that's different.
But I mean, in terms of even if you're starting a business in the UK, a lot of people will say to you, what are you doing that for? Stick to what you know, stick to your 9 to 5.
So much comfort.
Whereas here, if you start a business, people are saying, go for it. What's the worst that can happen?
People encourage you. Like when I started podcasting in England about 16 months ago, people thought, oh, what's he doing here? Are you with me? Since then, I've done 50 podcasts. I've done the Prime Minister. I've done the heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois. I've done Bollywood actors. I've done the Pakistan cricket team captain. I've done billionaires. I've done the mayors. So when you work hard, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's number one. Secondly, when you work in one profession, doors open up if you work honestly, sincerely.
For sure. It's always, people always underestimate the journey and the grind. I was talking to a very good friend of mine. He was trying to see if he was trying to leave banking into real estate, and I smacked him in the head. He works as I can't say the bank, but he works as a high net worth relationship manager in a certain bank. Now his salary is fixed and his commissions are capped. But I'm like, bro, you just have to switch your fucking brain on and understand how to take advantage of the opportunity.
Those rich people, that's such a fun deal.
You would literally have a bank that's bringing people to you.
But this is the hustler aspect of being a real estate agent or being a businessman.
Absolutely.
Someone like him, he's known for banking. He has a certain job, and he would do that job to an unbelievable level.
Yes.
But this city rewards hustlers.
Oh, it does.
In the sense that if you know how to make the most of an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Nabil with you on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
He met you at a paddle event, and next thing you know, three of us are doing a podcast.
100%.
If you know how to make the most of an opportunity, this city will take you.
It will reward the hell out of you. It's just, there's no, I always say, opportunity and ambition is welcome here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no matter how, my boys got two.
But you have to have the hunger as well and desire.
You have to.
There's no point going to a paddle event not making friends.
You have to. I can't even imagine how many times I've been flying on Sheikh Zayed and whatever car I'm driving, and you look right in your rearview mirror, it's a Pagani or a Koenigsegg, and then all of a sudden your W12 Bentley looks like a fucking Beetle. And that's not even trying to talk about showing off or it's literally just showing that no matter what you think you are in this city or in this country that we fucking love so much, there's always more you can reach for. Exactly. There's no cap. There's no end. I won't be surprised if in 10 years from now, the 3 tallest buildings in the world all in Dubai.
100%.
First, second, and third. And even if another country is about to build that, before they get done picking their noses, going through parliament, going through the fucking Congress, Dubai has probably launched a budget for the next 4 or 5 buildings that are going to be next tallest, right? And that's speed of execution matters.
Yeah.
Even lifestyle, forget construction, even lifestyle. Look at you, you're in good shape. You've inspired me to get shredded next time I meet. So basically, people into fitness and health. I train here every day. I have a cryo chamber every day, get an IV drip.
Oh, yeah. Look how we met. How we were there, from 4 o'clock?
Yeah, 4 till 9.
4 till 9, 10.
Yeah.
Right? There are very few parts of the world where we can be comfortable. There was a Revuelto out there. They had a new Ferrari Purosangue where the G3 was parked. This car's all open.
Yes.
You would never do that anywhere else in the world.
No.
The fiber.
There's watches there, designer handbags there. Everything.
People just leave it. I had it's only a Bottega bag. I had a Bottega bag and just left it on the side.
It's crazy. I was wearing the green pants and this was inside my fucking pocket. On the chair, by the barbecue stand, where everybody was coming around. My phone was literally like that. I had a Voss bottle of water and my wristwatch was in my left pocket. And that's a fucking $150,000 fucking watch. Never in my I would have locked that shit up.
Tonye, let's talk about that cash. Let's see how much cash is there now.
It's enough to buy some food.
Yeah, but with that now. So basically, Dubai and the whole world talking about cash because you've got a big wad of cash there. Probably got about
$25,000.
Yeah, $25,000 in dirhams.
In dirhams, yeah.
Can you just show to the followers? I want to see. I want to. This question leads on to that. So $25,000. Yeah. Now the whole world is turning digital.
Yeah.
So is that $1,000 bills or
500 dirhams?
Yeah. So that's 25,000.
Yeah, about $150 each.
Yeah. So basically, people, if you're in London, I won't feel safe. I'll think that I'm going to get jacked.
No chance.
I'm going to get jacked.
Here you I've had this podcast like this whole time. Even maybe his eyes could have fucking have them. Like and the comfort that we have, and look where we are now. It's afternoon. A few days later. Yeah. Never ever in the world.
And also, the world's becoming digital, but how come you're carrying cash? So everybody now, for example, have got digital cards. They don't even carry a physical card. The cash in England, they're trying to stop cash. So, for example, the whole globe will eventually become cashless. So
they're trying very hard.
So the government can track what you're spending.
I carry a lot of cash because I'm Nigerian, but it's more of an instinctive thing.
That comes from a tax point of view as well.
It does. Tracking the funds.
Yeah, the UK want to track the funds because of a tax. Whereas a country like this, it rewards opportunity, and there's no tax. The only tax you pay is corporation tax, 9%.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you make a certain amount of money.
Yeah, 400,000, isn't it?
About 375.
Yeah. So then you look at personal tax. There's no personal tax. It wants you to go out, it wants you to hustle, and it wants you to make that type of money.
Yeah.
Going back to the real estate question, the only reason why I would come to Dubai is, number one, and live here, is the lifestyle's phenomenal. Number two, the safety. Number three, the quality of life, the dopamine hit, the service, everything. I've been everywhere in the world, from Miami to south of France to Monaco to all of Europe
all
to
the
the
main,
US.
most important places.
Yeah, I've been everywhere. But the quality and service, if I go to the best hotel in the US, if I go to the best hotel in England or in Europe, you will not get the service levels that you get in Dubai.
At all.
No, service is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. No matter where you go, from the cheap to the expensive.
Yeah. And also, it's 24 hour. And let's say at midnight, I've had a paddle game and my body's aching. I could get a massage. In England, you can't get a massage.
He definitely wants a massage at 1 a.m. in the morning. That's what he... the moral of the story, massage at 1 a.m. Yeah. That's what he wants.
No, but if you want an
especially from the Bioli girls.
Mine are professional massages. Mine are professional massages.
Sure. So isn't that what they call them all?
But then when I say to my friends, invest in Dubai, buy real estate, they say no, because of the fact that, number one, these are seasoned practitioners in England, real estate experts, because they say England is a mature economy. I'm comparing it to Dubai.
Yeah.
Number two, in England, there's a lot more distress because England and the West, let's call it the West, is very much debt driven. So every Tom, Dick and Harry has a mortgage on the house. They have finance on the cars. They're living off drip. So, for example, they go to Bioli, they'll spunk away 20 grand, but it's all on the credit card.
Now, we've given so much fucking marketing to Bioli today. It's just crazy. Guys, when we come next time, we want some free food.
Yeah. So basically, the point I'm making to you, there's a lot more distressed opportunity in the West, England. So, for example, I'm in contact with all the receivers. I ring them every day. I'll speak to them. They become my friends. I play paddle with them. So anybody, imagine you're a Tonye receiver. So you say, Nabil, I've got this portfolio of houses coming through. Mr. Smith couldn't pay his mortgage.
Yeah.
Here's 100 houses. You can buy them cheap.
Yep.
So I'll just buy them.
Yeah.
And I'll break them up like a cake, slice each one up and sell each one individually in auction. Yeah,
Yep.
so I'll double my money.
Correct.
So in England, there's a lot more opportunity of distress because it's highly geared, highly debt driven. Yeah. Whereas in Dubai, there's not much opportunity. That's number one. That's what one of my friends said to me because he's a very wealthy man and said, invest in Dubai with me. So that's his argument.
How long has he lived in Dubai for?
He lived in England, but he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire.
He doesn't know Dubai very well.
No, he comes to Dubai all the time.
He hasn't invested enough into educating himself about Dubai. Well.
And second point, he said to me, Tanya, is that the GDP, because he's from Manchester, this guy's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Because he does JVs within England. And I said to him, Dubai's the place. He goes, well, the GDP of Manchester is bigger than Dubai.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can name how many billionaires are in Manchester compared to Dubai?
Not as many.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter.
And when you come there, maybe it'll get bigger.
I'm happy to. Maybe in 3-4 years. Yeah, maybe you never know. But the reality is, it's all about opportunity and potential. He sounds to me like, how old is this guy?
He's 55.
Makes sense. He sounds to me like a guy who's locked in his ways, sticks to what he knows, right?
But he's very good at what he does. And he's got a lot of cash.
In Manchester.
Not in London, in National.
Yeah. So, but the good thing is his mentality for what he sounds like is he hasn't actually taken the time to explore what Dubai has to offer. He can 3x his money here in a matter of 5 years.
Thank you.
He can't do that in Manchester.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Just the only thing I'll say that Dubai, the Manchester or UK,
the entire
tax.
Europe, UK, he cannot 3x his money in 5 years. Impossible.
So you can triple your money. That's what you're saying.
Easily. And by the way, sorry to interrupt you.
So if I put this guy in front of you right now, so imagine he sat there on that chair, and I say, boys, this guy's going to invest $1 billion in Dubai, sell the dream, you get 10%. You get 10%.
Let's run the two scenarios parallel. One, what is the procedure to actually go through handing over a building in Manchester versus Dubai? Speed of execution. It takes him 3 months to 9 months to do exactly what takes 48 hours in Dubai. That's already time lost. Opportunity cost, his so-called profit has actually depreciated automatically. Yeah. Second of all, when you're not talking about the opportunity cost in regards to the quantity of what Dubai has been receiving, the demand in Dubai surpasses the supply significant. Dubai hasn't built up to 50% of his land, by the way.
Less than that. But then also, sorry to interrupt, it's here, it's a $7 billion industry. $6 billion of that is cash. Only $1 billion is mortgage. Everything in this industry is done on cash. So you're not waiting around for banks. You're not waiting around for valuations.
People come with a wedge of cash like Tonye and pay for the property.
On the podcast, no, but in real life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's a way around everything in Dubai. Here it's done on cash, whether it's legitimate cash, whether it's whatever cash it is. You can get cash in, you can get cash out, and it's made for people that are cash rich. The UK is made for people who love debt. And if people want to be on the interest rate sort of
they don't love debt. They basically call it fur coat, no knickers. They don't have the money. They're living their dream. So basically, you know what?
That's exactly what it is.
Fur coat, no knickers. Absolutely. Over here, they've got fur coat and fur knickers.
Oh, for sure. And fur boxers, socks, fucking, tampons, everything.
Exactly.
The reality is, if people, you see, I think the reason why Dubai is where it is today is for one simple thing. You rightly said this. It's the mindset and the vision of the leader. And what Sheikh Mohammed, the blood and the electricity, because Sheikh Mohammed isn't human to me, the electricity Sheikh Mohammed has running in his blood has become contagious to every single person who walks through that airport into Dubai. The hunger, like you said, right? When you wake up in the morning in Dubai, whether you're a gazelle or a lion, you run.
You're charged.
You fucking run.
You have to.
You
get left behind.
And the reality is, no matter how, someone like him, he will disappear in Dubai and become a nobody in no time. Because he sounds like a very again, I'm not talking about just your friend. I'm talking about everybody who falls into that category.
Yeah.
That's what I call local champion. He's a local champion in whatever he knows. If he just has the balls and the guts to explore the opportunity Dubai has to offer, even if he wants, so with $1 billion, you can develop 10 different units and communities, right, in Dubai. And that's, like he said, villas. In fact, not just villas. Dubai is undersupplied in real estate, period. So imagine how many X's you have on that compared to a distressed, let's even say he has a 25% return on investment. 25% is nothing. You build a building right now in JVC for 50 million. You sell it out, you make 125 million. You make a resale and you make extra commission. You're literally going to go 3 to 5X, not percent, 3 to 5X of your money in a matter of 18 to 36 months. Beat that.
And that's just one example.
That's just one tiny example. And I'm giving you very, very mediocre, very, conservative.
But the only point that this gentleman made, who's very close to me, you get a lot more distress in the West.
But what is distress?
Distress is
the opportunity.
I'm not sure I agree with him.
But the opportunity that you get here, it outweighs the distress. If you've got the funds,
of course,
exactly. Like said, you can make 3 to 5 extra money. Whereas in the UK on a distressed deal, because the market's so mature, there's only one price it's going to be, and that's the market price. So you can only double your money.
Absolutely.
Whereas here,
you can do whatever. Opportunity always beats those. I mean, I guess for him, it's also a safety bet. I can also, the thing is, I can also empathize and understand where he's coming from. I can try to put myself in the shoes. My foot just won't fit. Because at the end of the day, when you now look at what is possible versus what is comfortable, this beats this every single time, right? And that, I guess maybe we just become so much Dubai-minded, right? Which a lot of people, when they actually move out here, they eventually become like us, which you will also have the same mentality, right? Otherwise, you won't be as open and as driven, as accessible, and as let's do this. Man, we met in 5 minutes. We talked about so much in 30 minutes, the amount of conversation we had and the stuff that we already planned. People take 6 months to build a relationship in the UK to get comfortable to even suggest one thing like that. And look where we are right now. And then God knows what's going to happen after that, right? And this is literally the same thing where even the environment on a non-monetary, non-tangible level just fosters the energy to just grow. The other fosters be stable, be safe, be stable. And that, like you said, the opportunity surpasses any ROI on any distressed deal he can get in Manchester, Liverpool, whatever, Mogambo, whatever shithole he's living in.
Don't slag off Manchester now. I'm from Manchester as well.
I mean, I got a few fine babes from Manchester, so hey, I'm not gonna hate, but you know it's a shithole.
There's a lot of opportunity.
We all know it's a shithole.
There's a lot of opportunity there as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, to be honest, I think about
there's opportunity everywhere.
Everywhere. But let's be honest, some places,
demand here as well.
Some places have more opportunity.
I think the exit here. Sorry to interrupt.
For sure.
The opportunity is here, but the demand is here for the exit as well. Manchester, the exit's there, but it's 3 to 6 months away. Whereas here, the cash is ready, the buyers are ready, the opportunity is here, and the exit is so you can see the exit within 3 to 6, 18 months.
And by the way, Manchester is losing population.
Yeah, people are coming to Dubai.
What's happened exactly? Dubai is not capable. Not capable. Dubai is going to grow too, but Dubai at the moment right now has more attention and more demand than the supply available right now. Do the math.
Dubai is the most demanded place in the world.
Everyone's leaving Scandinavia, leaving the whole of Europe, leaving the UK.
The people with money, they actually want to spend 6 months a year in Dubai when it's too hot.
Minimum.
From April to September, they'll be in Europe.
Yeah,
because it's too hot here.
So
they're tax exile. So I know a lot of people, they spend time in the south of France, limited time in London, and the rest of the time in Dubai, because Dubai will get too hot now next month.
But again, when I really think about it, I grew up in Toronto, right? If I have to choose minus 30 degrees Celsius versus 45 degrees Celsius, man, I choose 45 degrees Celsius every fucking time. And the reality is, temperature is always going to be, every experience that we have is always subjective. I love being here in the summer, believe it or not. Traffic, it took me 35 minutes to go from DAFC here. Because if it was rush, lunch hour, all that, whatever you want to call it, whatever the fuck, I don't care what the reason is. In the summer, I can do that in 10 minutes, 8 minutes, right? Because everyone's fucked off. School is over, right? No more school runs. Everyone's traveling. Everyone's shaking their ass on the fucking boat somewhere in fucking,
I feel
Monaco.
as well, sorry to interrupt. I feel like the buyers in summer, bringing it back to real estate, are the buyers that are ready to go. In the winter
better deals in the summer.
Yeah, no. In the winter you get window shoppers. They want to go around. They want to see the community.
But in the summer you get the real people.
Oh, for sure. Exactly. Because anybody who comes here is intentional. It's like YouTube versus Instagram.
You're not going to go. Right? You're not going to go for a lunch or a meeting in the 45-degree heat
unless you have something that you intend to. And as a matter of fact, believe it or not, I have almost 2x revenue volume in the summer than outside the summer. Believe it or not. Now I have 4x traffic, inquiries, conversations, whatever, during the winter. And that's fine. But those who actually settle down when they come out here, it's 85% of those who engage me in the summer go through.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. My Russian clients, my Chinese clients, my other Asian clients, other Eastern European clients, they come here in summer and they chill here in the summer. I mean, go to Jumeirah Nassim and it's filled with your Kazakhs, Uzbeks, Russians, Ukrainians in the summer, tanning in the 42 degrees heat. Literally. And those guys
but then the Russians, Ukraine, they can't come to England or Europe or the Russians, Ukraine, they only can come to.
Oh, they can go to Europe if they want. Ukraine, especially Ukraine. They can. They got no limits.
Yeah, but Russians, they can't.
They can. They can for sure. They get Schengen. It's totally
right. But they can't go to UK or America.
Or they can, totally. It's all just, so I know the reason why you feel that way.
Yeah.
The media has made it look as though they give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about these things. It's only in public social media where they actually act like they're doing something.
Yeah.
They still want their fucking money.
Yes, they do.
They do.
But lots of the Russian money's left London now, come to Dubai.
Big time.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh shit, we fucked up.
Yeah.
We got to find a way to get it back.
Yeah.
I mean, my ex-Russian girlfriend just went to Italy and Portugal and Spain. And she got a Schengen visa like that.
Look at America. America have just brought in a golden visa. Dubai was doing it 4 years ago. Whereas America now brought the 5 million golden visa. They copied Dubai because they're worried about how many people are leaving America to come to this part of the world.
Oh, and by the way, I forget the name of the state, has already announced 0% income tax in America.
Really?
It's been done. In one state. I forget what's Indianapolis? I'll check and see.
Nobody wants to be there anyway.
It's literally
But Miami's
done.
like the Dubai at the moment. They get loads of tax breaks.
And if
Jeff Bezos, he lives in Miami.
California is a shithole when it comes to these things. I mean, taxes are, everyone's leaving. Apple wants to leave California.
Yeah.
If Apple leaves California, Apple can probably almost bankrupt the state.
Yeah.
Because the amount of hiring, the revenue, the GDP, the Apple provides is ridiculous. Franco Patino. At the end of the day, it's going to be, everybody comes down to one thing. As the world gets down to more digital, more informed, more fluid as it is, everybody's going to sit down one day on their dining table they're going to run the math. What is the value I'm getting by being here versus being here? It takes one plane ticket. Planes are getting faster. Travel time is getting shorter. People are getting richer. Tickets are getting cheaper.
Yes.
Why
the
the
world
hell?
is becoming a smaller place.
The world is becoming a much smaller place. Yes. Why the hell will I sit down in the middle of God knows where with fear and risk of safety? Now, I've got a 9-year-old son. He turns 10 in August. I am not raising my child in Canada again or America. No fucking chance. Or Nigeria. I tell people all the time, I'd rather make 10,000 dirhams a year as a number in Dubai versus 100,000 in America or in Europe or in the UK or in Africa. It's as simple as that. The quality of walking downstairs, walking where I want to walk, being greeted with safety, security, respect, and accordance, and also returning that safety, security, and respect to everyone else, myself.
It's reciprocal.
It's reciprocal. That is everything. Tell me how many places on earth you can count on one hand the places on earth where you can actually say those kind of words, and then even then you're not going to think all your fingers are not going to be finished. That is literally what the Dubai dream. When anybody asks me, Tony, what is the Dubai dream? The Dubai dream is the vision of the ultimate utopia. Dubai has literally become. Even the movies didn't make a city as perfect as Dubai. Even in movies, you don't have cities.
You're a good spokesman for Dubai.
No, but again, people always say
you should be getting paid from the Dubai government.
They don't need to. They pay me with the value they're giving me automatically, right? Dubai isn't great because I say so. I announce it because Dubai is great.
Dubai is brilliant. That's why I keep on coming here.
It is brilliant.
That's why.
I'm just a spokesperson. I'm only echoing what is there. I didn't create any of it. I am just a yapper on this microphone with it, and I'm just sharing to the world. This is what we have here, and that's literally all it is.
I love Dubai. That's why I'm retire here.
Oh man!
Now a few more questions. We'll push for time. First of all, Dubai is full of. It's extremely saturated with real estate agents. There's real estate agent everywhere. So if you go to a restaurant, a bar, a club, anywhere, there's thousands of real estate.
One last way in LA.
In LA.
One last way in LA.
Yeah.
Bro, the bartender serving your drinks is a real estate agent.
Really?
Bro.
But over here, so I'm asking you a question. There's so many real estate agents, Tonye, Naheem.
Yeah.
So if I want to buy property, why would I come to you? Why would I come to you? What's so different about you? There's thousands to choose from.
Oh, the product that if it's an off plan, the product's exactly the same. What can I offer that's more valuable? Firstly, it's my relationship with the developer. I can get you stock that other agents can't. Then it's the value I can offer. I'm going to put a strategy. I'm going to put something in place that you can tangibly see. This is the price we're buying for. This is the price we're going to exit. This is your stop loss. This is your conservative price, and this is your realistic, and this is your optimistic price. What we're going to get for. When you work with me, it's a journey. It's not just one transaction. We buy the property, we look at where we're going to buy, we look at where we're going to sell, then it's the aftercare service you're going to get as well. You're going to be able to do the snagging, we're going to be able to rent the property, and you're going to have A to Z, almost like you, but A to Z all within property.
Very nice.
And what about yourself, Tonye?
Man,
I know you can give the full stop shop.
Oh, for sure.
You can give the visa, the
companies
visa,
and all that.
everything, get them here. But why would I come to you as an agent compared to Naheem or Mr. Smith?
So it's important to say that, first of all, I'm not a professional real estate practitioner, as Naheem is. I know Dubai as a tenant, as a landlord, as a consumer, as a bystander, onlooker, whatever, right? The number one asset I have is, any donkey has product knowledge. It takes you reading a PDF, like you said, right? Product knowledge is the same everywhere you go, as Naheem said. The reality is the experience you have.
Yeah.
I sell experiences. But first of all, I know how to shut the fuck up and listen. You don't force sell anything to anyone. I think the biggest mistake that any salesperson selling anything in the world does is when they force feed bullshit down and pressure on the right. Now, there's something called the right amount of pressure, but I believe, first of all, in understanding what the hell the person is looking for, understanding who they are as a person, and understanding
their needs, their requirements.
Yes. And then knowing what exactly, and without overloading and all this rubbish. I've got agents DMing me all the time, oh, we got this product, I don't want this, or this. I'm like, guys, just take a little chill pill, ask me a simple question. How the fuck are you? It's a simple question. How was your day? And most importantly as well for me, it's my community. People don't buy licenses from me. They don't buy properties from me. They don't rent cars from me. They buy access to my community, my relationships, my knowledge from
Your
regular people,
connections.
my connections.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is not something I go around talking about all the time, but my local partners, members of the royal family across multiple emirates. Now, I don't go around putting this on the business card or shouting from the mountaintop. Now, that's something you mention to the right people. Otherwise, like I said, the honey attracts the flies, right? I go and I know, okay, this person has some potential. This person has the right thing. I vet people. Now, I don't work with everybody either. I actually vet who I work with. I got to know, are you worth my time? And am I worth your time? And based on that, I open up my entire oyster to you, which is my relationships, whether it's with professionals, experts in different industries, my community, the LivUp community and others, my super high net worth, super powerful networks around the world. And that in itself, you know, like you said, you get a full one-stop shop, right?
Yep.
A to Z and property. With me, you're getting a fucking cleaner, a problem solver, where if anything goes wrong, anything goes right, you know, pick up the phone and call Tonye. My dog has a bone choke. You call Tonye and his team. My cat doesn't want to climb on a fucking plane because his ID is off. You call Tonye.
What about if your girlfriend dumps you?
Oh, you definitely call Tonye because the barbecue I'm going to have next day, you're going to forget your girlfriend immediately, right? So it literally, I sell the Dubai dream. I sell a community. I don't like to even the word sell. Sell is so commercial.
Yeah.
I offer the Dubai dream on a platter of gold, and I offer the community because see, Dubai has been misunderstood by a lot of people, and Dubai has been painting a very wrong picture. People don't. The biggest nonsense I hear is Dubai is so fake. I'm like, did God build the fucking Big Ben? A man made that fucking building. It's just really, really old now. And now you think age is history?
Yes.
What do you think was in the Middle East?
Yeah, exactly. So everything
1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. Like
even London, the Big Ben, everything like you said, Eiffel
everything
Tower.
is man-made. The Notre Dame, the Vatican.
Yeah.
So when they have all these, holier than thou, no stuck up. I'm like, guys.
You mean that what they're trying to say? They haven't got the history of thousands of years.
That's but also that's
history
false.
comes.
But that's also false because the UAE, the Middle East, does have history, right? Where the numbers come from? Definitely not from fucking Europe. Europeans didn't fucking invent numbers that they use today, right? It came from this part of the world.
Yeah.
And the reality is
Muslims invented numbers.
Exactly. So when you look at Islam, when you look at Hinduism, when you look at all the old traditional, the Indian mythology is the oldest mythology in history. And now Europeans and Europe and especially the West, they try to paint themselves as this superior beings. Now you want to know is horseshit. The highest earners, the hardest workers, the most radically successful people in the world are all foreigners who immigrate to the West and then take over everything. Every single person, the wealthiest person in any place you go is most likely an immigrant, especially in the West.
Exactly.
They've either, like you said, they could be second generation, first generation, third generation, it doesn't matter what they are.
But immigrants have the more desire and the passion to work harder.
Even for example, in Canada and America, when I hear this Black Lives Matter horse bullshit and how racism is everywhere, I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. There's discrimination everywhere in the world. The rich discriminate the poor, tall discriminate the short, the good looking discriminate the fucking
the
not
fat
good looking.
Discriminate the slim.
That too. That too. Like, you're not fat enough. The reality is, as human beings, we're always going to have something to look at, look up to, and look down on. It's human nature, even if we're all white or all black. And that's one thing where Dubai is that community that has actually said, it doesn't matter what skin color, what height, what religion, whatever you are. I mean, where else do you go in the world where you have a Jewish synagogue, a church, and a fucking mosque
all together?
Well, that's how disrespectful when I say fucking mosque, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah. A synagogue, a mosque, and a church in one triangle. Yeah. Nowhere else in the world do you have that. And that to me is the single most beautiful fucking thing ever.
Very cosmopolitan, very accepting of every culture, religion.
Perfect. Everything.
Now, a couple of questions I'll ask you because we're running out of time. So, Tonye, what advice would you give to anybody who's wanting to come to Dubai to migrate here?
Yeah.
What advice, what tip would you give them? One single tip, the most powerful tip you would give them from migrating from, let's say, India, London, America. What would you tell them? Why Dubai? What tip?
Man, one tip is so difficult to put on.
For me, sorry to interrupt, it'll be do your research. Understand what you're coming to and understand the life that you're going to live over here. This life is hard. There's no two ways about it. It's a Dubai life, but you have to work over here. There's no benefits.
Yeah.
There's no scheme to get you
It's
out
not
of
easy.
it. Do your research, know what you're coming to, and be prepared to work. If you're prepared to work, the riches will come.
This might sound very selfish and it might sound very commercial as me advertising myself, but watch my videos. I don't say that because it's me trying to promote myself. Not at all. It's more of I always try to lay out that no bullshit, unfiltered, what I'll say.
I like that very direct, candid approach. That's like me.
Very, very candid.
I'm very direct.
And I give that unorthodox perspective on things.
Yep.
Where like you definitely seen a lot of the videos shitting on Dubai and talking bad things about Dubai, which is rubbish. Or selling this fake promise that, for example, every Emirati is rich. We all know that's not true.
Yeah, no.
Emiratis don't have things handed to them on a platter of gold. They work hard. If they don't have an income, they don't get bank loans. Right? These are very simple, small things that I like to debunk all these theories and just let people know, guys, everybody here is, now there's nowhere in the world where everyone's equal. Let's be honest. Nowhere in the world. But everybody here has an opportunity to actually kill it and smash it. And if you're going to come into Dubai, come with one simple, I have an answer to you. One simple thing. Come with the open mind that whatever the fuck you wish for is possible. If you think you're going to suck, you're probably going to suck. If you think you're going to be a fucking killer, you're probably going to be a killer when you come here.
Yeah.
And Dubai is that blank canvas where everything you believe is possible.
So you can make your basically dreams into reality.
Oh yeah. Or you could take your dreams and you can crush it and destroy it and burn it to the ground. It's all you.
Forget the American dream. It's now the Dubai dream.
For sure.
Now it's the Tonye and Naheem dream.
Amen to that, especially after Bioli.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, is there anything, any other message you want to give?
Not
to
at all.
the
Just
listener?
appreciate you giving us the opportunity.
Naheem, anything on the
an invitation to be here.
Thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy. And Naheem, thanks so much for coming down to the podcast. And
Appreciate
hopefully
you very much.
we're going to go together from strength to strength.